Hi everyone, my name is Chuck Meyer and my assistant is Dave Sizdek. Dave is an environmental biologist and I'm a microbiologist for the Southern Nevada Water Authority. As a microbiologist, I study tiny organisms that are too small to be seen by the naked eye. These organisms are so tiny, I must use a microscope just to get a better view of them. Some organisms I study are the bacteria and the algae found in our waterways. I also study food webs and how species are connected. Understanding the food webs can help us understand the quality of the water, and any changes to these food webs may indicate changes in water quality.
Food web? You're probably picturing a fly stuck in a spider web. Although that is one example of a food web, that's not exactly what we mean when we use the term.
So then what is a food web? A food web is the natural interconnected food chains in an ecosystem. Okay, we just introduced some new words there that we should make sure you understand.
First, what is a food chain? A food chain is the linked network of organisms that depend on each other for energy and survival. An easy example of this is grass is eaten by a cow, which is eaten by a person. Food chains always start with producers, which make their own food. Most food chains start with green plants because they're able to make energy out of sunlight using photosynthesis. The level above producers is consumers. Consumers are all things that eat another thing, fly, plant, or animal, for energy. So a more complex food chain could look like this. Grass is eaten by a beetle, which is eaten by a spider, which is eaten by a sparrow, which is eaten by a small hawk, which is eaten by a barn owl, which is eaten by a coyote.
Now that we understand what food chains are, we can start to understand the complexity of food webs. Diets usually have more choices than just one type of thing. A spider usually won't only eat beetles caught in its web, or a bird won't only eat one type of fish. A food web connects all those different food chains, showing us how connected ecosystems are.
And that brings us to our last new word, ecosystem. An ecosystem is all the organisms interacting within their physical environment. What can mess these food webs up is when we remove one of the links in the web or add a new link that throws off the natural balance.
At the very beginning of this video, I said that I'm a microbiologist. A microbiologist studies all the things that we've been talking about, but on a very, very tiny level. Things that can be hard to see without a microscope. Specifically, I'm watching these microscopic food webs in Lake Mead, where we get our drinking water from.
Food webs in Lake Mead include producers like phytoplankton, which are tiny aquatic plants, and consumers like zooplankton, which are aquatic animals. Without phytoplankton, zooplankton wouldn't have anything to eat, and the whole food web would fall apart, eventually starving all the fish that live in the lake. That would be terrible.
About 15 years ago, a new species was introduced into Lake Mead that has caused us a lot of problems. It's from a different part of the world and probably snuck in on someone's boat. And guess what? It really likes Lake Mead. This new species is called the quagga mussel. Not the kind of mussel you like to flex, but a little clam-like animal with two shells. Quagga mussels have really enjoyed the warm water in Lake Mead, which has allowed them to lay billions of eggs all over the lake. As adults with a shell, the mussels attach themselves to anything hard they can find. This includes rocks, ropes, the bottoms of boats, and the pipes we have on the bottom of the lake for drawing out water. The adults also like to eat lots of phytoplankton and zooplankton. This introduction hasn't seemed to cause major problems with the Lake Mead food web yet, but we regularly monitor the water, the plankton, and the fishes to make sure everything stays okay.